Temtem. It is here, it is now, it is in early access and available for purchase on Steam. Made by CREMA Games, a small bunch of passionate developers based in Spain, if Google's telling me the truth that is, and published by Humble. They wanted to make a game that... What? Oh! Oh, I didn't realize I was showing you guys the wrong game. That's silly of me. So, Temtem. Temtem has been a hot topic among many people lately. If you're a Pokémon fan, you're probably wondering if this game is any good. How does it compare to Pokémon? Does it compare to Pokémon? Is it better than Pokémon? Or does it have the potential to be better than Pokémon? If you're not a Pokémon fan, and you've seen footage of this game, you'll probably think it's just another clone, and you might wonder what the big deal is. Maybe you've just seen the price of this game, and you want to hear some more opinions before deciding for yourself whether this game is worth picking up or not. A lot of those questions definitely aren't easy to answer, but in this video I will try my very best to summarize my thoughts on this game, whether I think it has potential to become a well-recognized IP in the monster capture genre or not, what some of the things are that I like about this game, what some of the things are that I dislike about this game, and, compared to Pokémon, what features I personally think CREMA Games absolutely nailed. So, first things first. I would like to point out that this game was released in early access on January 21st. Yes, I'm late to the party, what a shocker. But what that means is that you can definitely expect a few bugs, server restarts, downtime, and most importantly, more content to be added in the future. I'm certainly no online video game journalist e-detective, but from what I've seen on the Temtem Discord page and read on their official Reddit page, it seems like CREMA Games is very much open about the future development of this game. Now, do they listen to feedback? I personally can't tell. I think it's a bit early to say anything about that really. A change was made a few days ago that upped the price of breeding items, and from what I could tell, people weren't exactly too happy with that, so who knows if they'll change it back. One thing is for sure though, and that is that the devs are definitely passionate and working their asses off to get these patches out. When the game first came out, there definitely were some issues with the servers. A lot of people wanted to try this game for the very first time. I mean, it's an MMO, it happens. I know it's not a good excuse, but the devs were fast to up their server capacity, and now I haven't had any issues logging into the game since. And to be fair, the longest queue time I had was about 25 minutes at best. I went downstairs to get some food and a drink, I booted up my OBS so I could start streaming at twitch.tv/eatmysoulmass, and by the time I had everything set up, the queue times were over. So, let's do something like a deep dive and check out what Temtem is all about. What exactly is Temtem? Temtem is a Pokemon style MMO. It's a monster capture game where you go around and tame Temtem. You level these adorable dorks by having them beat each other up so they become stronger. And boom! What's that? Evolution. Keep doing that until you're the very best, like no one ever was. It's very simple. It's a formula we all know and love. The Temtem dev team are very open about their inspirations, and you definitely notice some very big similarities. You start off by recreating your favorite Miiverse character from a respectable list of customization options. Make sure to name it appropriately, and...
What did she do?
I didn't fucking realize this, but I called my character "Please send help," and the moment the first cutscene starts, your mom actually starts shouting, "Please send help, please send..."
Please tell me you got that recorded.
You then meet your mom. At least, I think she's your mom? Her name is Aina. We know that because you and everyone else call her by her first name. I mean, what? And she, for some reason, has the most horrifying expression on her face that you could possibly ever imagine. What a good way to start off the day. We go downstairs and we accept the fact that there's not a single sign of our father in this game either before we go outside. Yay! It's a party! The whole village has gathered to see you off because you're 12 now and you're old enough to go around and explore these floating islands. Wait, what? There's a professor, you say? And his name is Constantinople, you say? Like the capital of the Roman Empire, you say? Look, I'll cut the sarcasm, but you get the point. It's all very similar stuff. You go out there and meet the professor who has a surprise in store for you.
Here's your father.
And he also wants you to choose between free Temtem, Crystal, Smash Bros, and a much cooler looking version of Mew. Now, I don't know about you guys, I assume he tells you to pick carefully, but I already had my eyes fixed on that Hoo chick from the moment I walked into his building, so my choice was very easily made. One thing, or rather character, that I really liked is Max. Max is your friend slash rival in this game, but he's also a complete another. He may not be as bad as his Red, or as arrogant as Silver, but he reminds me of them in a good way. From the start, I immediately found myself looking forward to beat. Yeah, you know what? I'm definitely looking forward to showing this punk who's boss. Now, I will say I haven't progressed too far into the game yet. I only just made it past the first dojo on my second character. More on that in just a moment. But I obviously don't know where this guy's gonna go, or how his character will develop. Though I have high hopes for the kid, he's honestly a good rival. Okay, so after that you're told about some type of academy you need to visit. Or something. Look, I'd set my text to fast and I was pressing A a bunch and I really didn't expect it to go that fast. I just wanted to go out and explore. Lucky for me, there wasn't too much dialogue. Something about a dojo challenge and we were pretty much good to go. Sweet. I can't wait to encounter all of these new Temtem. And... wait, was that? Oh, a battle you say? I'll happily show you what I'm made of. Of course that was way too easy for an expert level Temtem tamer such as myself. So now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and find ourselves a new huh? Wait. Oh, you want to battle as well? But, I mean, I really wanted to... You know what? Fine. A professional Temtem master doesn't back down from any challenge. And now that we got that over with, I can find a... Who the fuck are you? A battle? Oh, for fuck's sake. I'll be honest, right off the bat this game proves to be challenging. Unlike Pokémon where most routes are usually just straight lines and have a handful of easy to dodge trainers, the areas in Temtem feel quite big and have loads of curving paths that branch out, and you can be assured to find at least 2 or 3 trainers waiting for you around every corner. Luckily though, the battles don't really last that long. You'll get an understanding of the game mechanics fairly quick, and a lot of moves hit pretty damn hard, so most trainer battles are over in just a few turns. Combine that with some very pleasing to look at graphics, as well as an incredible OST to listen to, and you'll find yourself keep wanting more, but more on that in just a bit. Let's actually talk about the battles for a second. In Temtem, every battle you fight is a double battle. That doesn't always go for your opponent, but as far as I'm aware, you will always fight in pairs. That's already one of the major differences with Pokémon. Now, in Pokémon, VGC is definitely a well-established, crazy in-depth playing field with all kinds of synergies from abilities to moves, but I personally feel like Temtem is already up there. Since the whole game was based around double battles, it feels like a lot of these abilities were obviously made with that in mind. Not just that, but a lot of moves have very powerful synergy effects, side effects that occur once X requirement has been met. There's also no accuracy, critical hits, game-winning RNG, or PP for moves anymore. All that has been replaced by the stamina system. Your Temtem have a certain amount of stamina. It's always maxed out when you enter a battle. Moves cost varying amounts of stamina, and you will restore some of it at the end of the round. You can use up more stamina than you have, but you will overexert when you do so, damaging yourself. You always have to rest for a turn if you overexerted in the previous one, so keep that in mind. You'll have to learn how to manage stamina properly if you don't want to put yourself in too many awkward scenarios. Temtem, just like Pokémon, also come in many different types. There are bland types.
You're just bland and tasteless.
Fiery types, nature types, wet types, Zappy types, Earth types, Wind types, Melee types, Crystal types, Digimon types, the average League of Legends player type, and last but not least, the Mental type. Which is funny because that's exactly what this chart is driving me, and it's also the type of the absolute best looking starter. A lot of these types are very similar to Pokemon. You've got your basic elemental triangle, mental beats melee, electric beats digital, which, in all fairness, does make sense. It's really just going to take time for everyone to learn these new types and get used to them, but I honestly feel like that won't take too long. Another thing that Temtem does differently is evolution. Just like in Pokemon, your Temtem can grow stronger and evolve to acquire a new form and better stats. However, in Pokemon, these levels are always the same. You know for a fact that your Metapod will evolve into a Butterfree starting at level 10. In order to evolve your Temtem, however, they will need to gain a certain amount of levels after being captured. So a Temtem captured at a higher level will evolve later than the same Temtem caught at a lower level. That is to say, of course, if your Temtem doesn't revert back to its original form after evolution. So, there's a couple more things I want to talk about before finishing off with some ending thoughts. Both of these things are very important, of course, so let's start off by talking about the game's art style and music for a second. Now, this is obviously subjective, but in my opinion, the game looks absolutely gorgeous. The colors in this game are very bright, very vibrant. The artists make use of high contrast to really make everything stand out. The edges are soft and don't have any rough outlines. All in all, I really feel like this game is very pleasing to look at. When it comes to the design of the actual Temtem, I really do like them a lot. Some of these already feel like they're very memorable. My only complaint, if I can call it that, is that some of these evolutions don't really feel like they add on too much. Again, that's just a personal thing, but I like my monsters to go through very visible, different stages of evolution. It feels like a lot of the form changes after evolving are rather subtle with Temtem. Now, the music in this game, once again, in my humble opinion, is phenomenal. The soundtrack was composed by Damien Sanchez, an award-winning music composer from Spain, and he absolutely nailed it. The battle music is captivating, the route music makes you want to stay out there and just enjoy the scenery. Daniel did an absolutely great job recreating that Pokemon feel, but making it his own and adding a truly magical touch to it. I should become a music reviewer, god damn. Though in all seriousness, I'll let you guys listen to some snippets of the OST so you can decide for yourselves. You can find the whole thing on YouTube if you want. The last thing I generally want to touch upon is the MMO and the exploration aspect of the game. From the very moment the game lets you go, you are dropped in an open world. Everywhere you look, you'll see people running around followed by their Temtem. Which is awesome, by the way. Why can't Pokemon bring back following sprites? We already have them in the overworld. Either way, this comes, surprisingly, with very little lag. One thing that I absolutely love about this game is that it doesn't hold your hand. There aren't any annoying roadblocks. Actually, there's this one guy who doesn't let you through unless you have a Temessence file, but that gets explained to you as soon as you enter the next town, so you can immediately go and pick it up, and that's it. They just let you through. The Academia was there as well. Did I have to go there? No. Did I want to go there? Absolutely. See, in Temtem, you go around and accept quests from people. You want to talk to everyone and see if they have any requests. These quests will reward you with all sorts of goodies, from cash to items, so they're well worth doing. Most of these quests right now seem to be fetch quests, but I definitely expect them to be adding more. And on the bright side, the fetch quests do get you out and about to explore the island. Being an online RPG means that this game should shine in its online elements, and I for one definitely think it does. You can interact with others in the overworld, easily search for other people, add them as friends, play co-op, challenge them to a battle, and trade. And talking about trades, remember when I mentioned at the start of the video when I said I was playing this on my second Steam account? Yeah, so for some reason you're not allowed to create a new game for 8 whole days after you made a trade with someone. But let's quickly have a look at the trade window. As you guys can see, you can trade multiple Temtem at once, trade items separately, trade money, and you don't even have to offer anything in return. There's a chat window where you can arrange everything about the trade. It's just perfect. Everything happens fast and it's smooth. Exactly, no struggling with any sort of stupid stamp system, just easy and fast trading, the way it's supposed to be. Now when we look at the store page for Temtem, you can see in the early access Q&A that a lot more features will be added in the future. They are talking about auction houses, clans and guilds, in-game tournaments, and even adding player houses. I mean, they already have a furniture store in-game, but it's blocked off by these whip signs that I keep seeing everywhere. It really makes you wonder what's going on in there. But in short, they really have a lot more in store to enhance the multiplayer experience even further, and the possibilities really are endless when you think about it. There is also some talk about endgame content to be added. As far as I know, the current endgame consists of breeding to get perfect Temtem, shiny hunting or Luma hunting, online battling, and something like a battle tower. Wait, does that sound familiar? It's also mentioned that the current price of the game will increase as more features get added into the game, so that's also worth pointing out. Anyway, I've been talking for a bit now and I should probably try to round up this video. I will quickly go over the positives and the negatives once more before doing a small recap and giving you guys my final thoughts. So, some of the pros about Temtem. The game, in my opinion, has a beautiful art style and OST. It's also quite challenging. The dialogue is aimed at a slightly more mature audience. Strategical double battles with a lot of intricacies. A big world free to explore with a ton of quests and no hand holding. Simple, fast, and very easy to connect to and with other players. It's half the price of a new AAA game, but arguably offers similar amounts of content. This is not to say every AAA game of course, but you all know which ones I'm referring to. And the game does have a very active dev team and community pages. Now for some of the cons about this game, as much as I love the art style and the Temtem designs, I can't say I'm the biggest fan of the character models. The dialogue can also sometimes be a bit too edgy or memey. Early access also means possible bugs and downtime. Some features like the quest log are inaccessible at the moment, and this makes tracking quests very hard, although I'm sure that's going to be implemented soon. There are a lot of trainer battles. And of course, lastly, new types and move synergies can sometimes be confusing without too much explanation. To conclude this video, I want to recap and give you all some final thoughts. Do I enjoy playing Temtem so far? Do I think it's a solid competitor for Pokémon? To both of those questions, I will wholeheartedly answer yes. People will always look at Pokémon the very moment the new monster capture game comes out. I mean, it's really hard not to. But it's very clear that the good people at CREMA Games have a good understanding about this genre. I have high hopes for this game to become a well-recognized IP. Will it overthrow Pokémon? Of course not. The way I see it, most Temtem fans are Pokémon fans, but not every Pokémon fan will be a Temtem fan. I hope that makes sense to you guys. I've been playing Temtem for about 4 days now, and I keep finding myself wanting to explore more areas, enjoy the scenery, find new Temtem, strengthen my team, talk to NPCs and do all of their quests. I even got added by a couple of random people who just wanted to trade and battle, and the in-game chat menu made talking to each other very easy. It seems like Temtem is definitely popping off at the moment. People aren't too happy with Sword and Shield, and their new DLC announcements definitely didn't make things too much better. I'm personally a bit on the fence with that. It's certainly something I want to make a video on in the future. Pokémon was $60 and offers about as much content as Temtem currently does. The online system is a mess, DLC adds another cost, online multiplayer adds another cost, home adds another $15. Things are really just getting out of hand. Temtem offers all of that, but more polished, for half the price. Look, I will always love Pokémon and probably keep playing it, but I definitely feel like Sword and Shield missed a huge mark, and people are rightfully upset about it. Temtem is currently a good, niche alternative for those of you who've been asking for all of these things, and I'm very much convinced that Temtem can and will grow out to be much more than that if they keep up with this tremendous work. Well guys, that's going to be it for me in this video. I really hope you all enjoyed watching this. It definitely took some time to prepare the footage and write out the script and all of that. If you guys did enjoy watching it, please consider leaving it a like and perhaps even subscribe to my channel. so you'll be the first to catch new uploads whenever they get uploaded. Our next couple of videos should be another episode of the Pokemon Nuzlocke, as well as another Pokemon battle video, so definitely keep an eye out for that. With that said, I want to thank you all so very much once again for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.